Hospital reporters pride and dignity stop the New World Order. Welcome to Panmo TV. Well, I'm back in London. Not so long after I was here last. I'm here with Colin, you'll be familiar with.
Hello again.
There you
Another
go.
exciting adventure.
Yes, we are. I'll show you where we are actually. We're on Westminster, we're on Embankment Pier. And this is just, it's a pier sort of rocking up and down. It's obviously a floating thing. I thought it was like something attached to the riverbed, but it's not. It's rocking in the...
been a shark attack, Ben, or something.
Yeah, it's sort of like rocking in the wake of these boats that are passing. See these various little boats. I'll just show you some of the sights. There is a boat. There's one of the river boats. They're bigger. We're going to need a bigger boat. Yeah. There, over there is the famous Shard, which is the tallest building in Britain. There we go.
It's very cold today, actually. For May, it's very cold.
Yeah, it's a bit miserable. We've had some lovely weather the last 2 days.
But it was a bit bitter waiting for you on that.
Sorry about that.
No.
He had his deer stalker on. He looked cool with it.
Well, I had them. We'll know about that.
And there's the South Bank over there. There's the National. Is that what's the theatre that is? One of them. I went there once when I was a kid at school. I went on a school trip there. The Royal Festival Hall.
You go to all the exciting places, Ben.
I do. I must say. Now that over, I don't know what that is over there, but there's a lot of cranes. They're obviously building something. That there is a bridge of some kind. I don't know. Our boat's coming soon.
Yeah, we've got to count down.
Behind us is. What's behind us? I don't know. Somewhere over there's the Ministry of Defence. So we're dropping. Yeah. So we're dropping to see Nick Pope. But then I did knock in. He wasn't in. They said sorry. Nick's on a day off today.
He's not stupid. He's in a warmer place, I think.
Yeah. But we're going to Greenwich Skeptics in the pub. Now I've been to a few of these before. You'll be glad to know I'm going as myself. I'm not in disguise this time.
No cunning disguise.
Not this time. No, I won't. I don't think I need it because the person we're going to see is someone called Christopher Thresher Andrews, and I've met him before. I'm familiar with him. He's actually what is he? He's a skeptic, isn't he?
Yeah, is he
a psychology lecturer?
Protégé of Christopher French?
Yeah.
Is he the new up-and-coming? Will he be the one who takes over the reins? Or has he got a few on the go? Has he got a few disciples?
He's got a little cluster of about 4 or 5 acolytes, including Rob Brotherton, who we went to see before. This guy is, I think, he's one of the young apprentices. But basically, this Christopher, I've met Christopher. Do you remember Christopher Thresher Andrews before, when we met him before?
Oh, he's done a talk before. Have we been to see him talk before?
Yeah, he was. Well, I was speaking alongside him at Chris French's.
Was it there? Was it? Was he talking about the same subject? Was he?
Yeah, I mean, pretty. He told me something similar. Yeah, but Christopher Thresher Andrews, he's a lecturer in at the psychology department at Goldsmiths University of London. And it's funny enough, he did say psychology, not anomalistic psychology, which means his speciality may be a bit broader than French's, which is he's definitely the head of the anomalistic psychology department. However, he specialises. We're going to go see a lecture entitled, I think. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll just show you now a few more details about the event. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, this is the event I'm going to see. Greenwich Skeptics in a pub. Is it time to ditch the tin-foil hat? What psychology can tell us about belief in conspiracy theories? And this is somebody, I've actually met this guy before, Christopher Thresher Andrews. Now this is a chap who's one of my fellow speakers at the ASAP Seriously Suspicious conference organised by old Professor Chris French. And so I met this chap. I think he's one of the students within the anomalistic psychology department, like Robert Brotherton, who I've been to see at a previous Greenwich P, and I've done a written report on that. But anyway, Christopher Thresher Andrews says, we live in a country where a large minority of us believe that a secret group of powerful people really control world events, that global warming is a hoax, that Diana was deliberately assassinated. Conspiracy theories try to convince us about how the world really operates, quote unquote, and range from the mundane to the more serious. But aren't they just harmless fun? This talk will give an overview of what psychology can tell us, demonstrating that belief is widespread and not limited to tin-foil hat wearers, quote unquote. That conspiracy belief has serious real-world consequences, and why we all have a little conspiracy theorist inside of us. It will summarise the existing psychological findings in an interesting and interactive way, and also provide some exciting results from new experimental work. Here we go. Christopher Thresher Andrews, what a name, Thresher! It's like a guy thresher is someone who like cuts the corn, isn't it? You know, with a like in a farm, isn't it? Christopher Thresher Andrews is an associate lecturer at the Department of Psychology at Goldsmiths, University of London. Forming part of his PhD, this research aims to explore possible psychopathological links to conspiracy belief, and also to place conspiracy theories into a wider political and social context. Some of his best reviews from conspiracy theorists include an accusation of being a government stooge, a puppet of the establishment, a craven satanic manipulator, and a deceptive empty-headed moron with all the intellectual capacity of a squashed potato. Well, not from me. I'm not going to be nasty to him. I'm interested to hear what he has to say, and they managed to get through that entire description without mentioning anti-Semitism, and that I think is something that I find very, very refreshing. Are we recording? We're just recording again. Yeah. So, Colin, what did you think of that? That's a little thing we just.
It's quite entertaining, but yeah. So obviously he's being accused by some what you would call believers in conspiracy theories as being involved in a sort of, you know, cover up or working for them, whoever they are.
Yeah.
But
it's not very original, that, is it?
No, not really. And there's always a divide, quite a big divide between the two groups of skeptics and believers. And I'd be interested to see. There might be more people who are treading the pathway in between. Maybe hopefully we'll see a few of those there, so we can have some intelligent conversations.
Well, fingers crossed. I mean, obviously it'll be mostly skeptics because it is Greenwich skeptics in the pub. But hopefully there'll be a few more
it's
sort
like
of
an away
like
game, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah,
like
that's right.
It's an away
It's
match.
a good analogy. That's right.
Yeah.
I was quite impressed that at least he didn't mention anti-Semitism.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I mean, I was waiting for it.
Maybe he's waiting to say that at the event.
He might do, yeah. But he didn't mention anti-Semitism, which is great because that is a cliche the skeptics use when they talk about us. Again, it's equally false. I mean, it's as stupid to call us anti-Semites as it is to call him, oh, he's a government agent without any evidence. I never accuse people of being government agents without evidence. You know, I mean, there's some researchers who are a bit overzealous in that department, I think, you know, especially certain long Geordies with long brown hair, who I won't name.
Well, I think for the blurb, I was just reading, is you know, you're saying we've all got a little bit of conspiracy in us, and I think
that's what Sue used to say.
Very much true now.
Sorry, I'm making a vulgar joke.
Yeah, because you can't really not, you know, what's been happening in the news over certainly the last few years. You know, there's so much conspiratorial talk that to not even, you know, just ignore it now would be, you know, stupid really. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what the vibe is, and maybe we can raise some points.
Yeah, I mean, that should be good. I mean, luckily this one has not been cancelled. I was quite pleased because the last conspiratorial speaker they had was Professor Karen Douglas, who I've talked about before, and I mentioned her in I met her at the ASAP Seriously Suspicious conference. She's someone I was quite keen to speak to because of her very unusual ideas, which are quite heretical from her point of view, from the point of view of the skeptic dismissal side. But that event was, she was going to speak here at Greenwich. Unfortunately, that event was cancelled. I'm glad to say this one appears to be on. So we're going, and we're going to go see Mr. Christopher Thresher Andrews, which is a rather unusual.
I think Chris French will be there.
Thresher Andrews. Yeah. Thresher. So, no, it's okay.
Sounds exciting.
We're on the square tour. So we're going to get on our boat in a few minutes, and we're going to head to Greenwich. So see you in a bit. There's the RAF Memorial, pointing its bottom towards the Ministry of Defence, which is where, so towards Nick Pope, in other words. And there is the seat of power there. That's where our fearless leaders. That big phallic building there, towering above the, and there's a dome of St Paul's nearby. Well, you already know what I think about all that. We're heading for Westminster Pier, and there's St Thomas's Hospital there, a big teaching hospital. I should nip in and say hello to the porters. Should be nice. Which, as you'll see, there's a bit more in a minute. I'll show you a bit more of the sights. It's Westminster Abbey over there. Yeah, and well, this is the site of that event with the guy with a knife, which we have talked about with Nick Colostrum. And so me, Colin here, and we sneaked in some of these.
A bit of French lager.
Yeah, I don't know.
In honour of the French elections.
That's
maybe.
right, yeah. Come on, Le Pen, come on. Anyway, I'll see you in a minute. That there is the world's biggest Ferris wheel. It's the London Eye. Looks like a big bike wheel to me. But that is, yes, that's... cheers, mate, thanks. We got ourselves some grub, we got ourselves some food as well. This is the way to travel, I think.
Gourmet dining.
It's the way to see London, I think.
Maybe that's...
I mean, when you go on the tube, I don't know if you agree, Colin. I mean, the tube's all right for getting somewhere quick when you need to get somewhere quick, but you get on the tube, and the tube just kind of like, you go under into a dark tunnel, you don't see a thing. Yeah. It just, London just disappears above your head. Well, here it opens out in front of you. You get fresh air of the river.
It's a shame it's a bit grey, but...
yeah. Well, the weather's pretty cold, isn't it?
It is,
pretty nippy. It's been raining, which is all right, because it's been quite dry lately, actually. We've had some rain, and now it's actually cold and rather grey, and the river's choppy. But not to worry. I'm sure we will. We're going to be in a pub soon, so who cares what the weather's like when you're in a pub? Yeah, right. And here
even if it's one full of sceptics.
That's right. Yes. Well, the good thing is it's full of sceptics. There'll be no shortage of hot air.
Yeah.
And there we have St Paul's Cathedral. You can see it. That's not a very good sight of it, but that's the dome, which was designed by Sir Christopher Wren from the Priory of Sion. It's apparently member of the Secret Society network. There was this guy called what's the name of that guy who designed all those churches? His name's escaped me.
What? Not the one in Italy, was it?
Nah, but he was a draftsman of Sir Christopher Wren. But Hawksmoor, Nicholas Hawksmoor. Yeah, he was in with the secret societies and the Masonic network and stuff like that. Now the Shard see, is that the Shard's actually getting covered. Its head is in the clouds, which is what the skeptics think we conspiracy theorists have. We conspiracy theorists have our heads in the clouds, but the Shard literally has its pinnacle, its top, in the clouds. Now that shows how low the clouds are. It's getting very very overcast here. There's some rain. It's been some rain here as well. We just stopped at another station, another dock, harbour, and over there, that strange building you see over there, that's nickname is the walkie-talkie because of its shape. It looks like it's like a handheld walkie-talkie, but it's designed. It's got it's smaller at the bottom than at the top, and the reason, and it makes sense if you think about it, because it means that because all buildings have to pay a ground rent in London. So if they can be smaller at the bottom than the top, you can have a bigger building with more offices and things like that, or flats or whatever, and the rent is going to be lower because the ground rent is going to be lower compared to the size of the building. So that's a pretty good idea, I thought. The thing about it is, there was a bit of a problem because what happened was people were leaving their cars parked at a certain point on the street nearby, and they come back later and find that the paintwork was scorched, as if it had been as if someone had lit a fire or something, or burned it. And it turns out that what they've done is they've inadvertently created a solar furnace. The sun, when the sun hits the windows at a certain angle, it focuses its beam, it concentrates its reflection on a certain point. So you get if you park your car or you're in the focus of that beam, you get burnt.
All right.
Not very, very useful anyway. Anyway, we're going to carry on down the river. We're now just at the City of London, near the Square Mile, that big Illuminati centre. Yeah, Christopher Thrasher Andrews he's going to have a go at us for that, isn't he? Yeah. It's not. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're crazy for thinking that. But yeah, here we are. We're at the Square Mile, and we're continuing our road continuing our travel down the River Thames. There's a footbridge there. See, there's no cars going over there. It's just people walking, and they look a bit uncomfortable. I think it must be windy up there. It's a bit windy today, actually, so that could be why. And so, yeah, there's an awful lot to see. I must say, it does get more and more interesting every year, the architecture along here. There's the Globe Theatre, see? That's the Globe Theatre, which is an original reproduction of Shakespeare's famous theatre, and it's built on the exact spot as the original. Wow. I should... Look, please, could you give us a donation just for being a tour guide?
Passengers will exit at the front of the boat.
You look there, you can see the Tower of London. Colin and I are now we're approaching Tower Bridge, and over there is the Tower of London, where they used to prison people and cut people off, cut people's heads off. There's HMS Belfast, an old warship, and yes, Tower Bridge. Oh, Bell.
That's right. All ahead 2/3. Ahoy, my hearties.
2 miles on that.
Oh, Miles.
That's right. I'm the captain of the ship.
HMS Miles, that'd be a bit.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Watch out for the black goo. There's a scuttler crawling up the sides of the ship.
I must say this, that is the new Greater London Council office, and it's a weird looking thing, that is. That's a weird looking building. There's some weird buildings architecturally in this part of London. Some of them are old, some of them are new. There's Tower Bridge there. So there's a lot of it's a bit of a strange place. Anyway, we're going to come close. We're not going to see the Tower of London, but there's the walls of it. Now, in 2014, during the centenary of the Great War celebrations, there was like poppies. They had like a pool of poppies, and it looked like, and it was like it was pouring out the window. There's an art exhibition of poppies, and to me, it looked like blood.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean.
There, at the entry to Trader's Gate.
Yeah. And leave extra room for her tail on the crest on the top of her head. But I mean, to me, that looked like blood. I think this is what the Illuminati see the war as. It's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice of millions of young men to the dark forces. So it's got a bad atmosphere, this area, despite the grandeur. Well, the atmosphere of the river changes when you get to this. We're just at Wapping now, in East London.
Canary Wharf.
And there's Canary Wharf. Now we see here the big monoliths of Canary Wharf. It does look, from this distance, it does look a little bit like the Whispering Knights or Roll Right Stones or something else, some kind of thing Maria Wheatley would be interested in. But we see here in the middle, next mate, One Canada Place. Before the Shard was built, that was the tallest building in Britain, 512 feet tall, with the pyramid on the top. Now it's obviously, that's like a Ben-Ben, it's like a Ben-Ben peak. This is an obelisk. It is a phallic symbol. It is definitely a male sexual symbol standing up in the middle of East London. And among these other big tall buildings here. And if you look over to here, to this side, you can actually see a dome. This is what used to be called the Millennium Dome. I don't know what it's called now. You may not see it from the river, actually. But can you see the Millennium Dome from here, Colin?
That's it there, yeah, the top.
Yeah.
Those bits coming out
from the Millennium Dome. That's the Millennium Dome. You just see the peaks of it. Now, regular
or the O2 Arena as it's now known.
Is it called the O2 Arena now? Yeah, it used to be the Millennium Dome. But regular viewers will know immediately what I think about towers and domes. I've talked about this before. It's a great big. It's basically an occult esoteric shag.
Yeah,
that's the only word for it, isn't it? That's what it is. It's a generator of sexual energy. That's what it is. That's what these two symbols put close together mean. Because you see them all over the world. You see them in cities all over the world. I've shown you in Oxford there are at least 2 centres of sexual energy generators in Oxford, and there are others all over the world. The Washington DC, you have the Washington Memorial Halls of Congress. In Rome, you have like the big Egyptian obelisk, and you have like the St. Peter's Basilica, which the Halls of Congress in Washington DC is based on. So you see the river's a lot wider now and it's a lot more open, but there's a lot of these big I must say, I don't know about you, Colin, but I think East London is starting to more and more to resemble Dubai every day.
Well, there's some tall buildings, isn't there?
Yeah.
Certainly the weather doesn't match Dubai.
I think it's a bit cooler and wetter than Dubai here, but I do think that East London is starting to resemble Dubai. I've never been to Dubai, but I've seen pictures of it. And So it's kind of like it's definitely designed to shock and awe, isn't it?
Yeah.
So now we're heading on further east and towards our destination in Greenwich. As I said, I'm glad I got here early enough, because last time I came to Greenwich Skeptics in the pub, I didn't have time to get the boat. I had to get the tube. But
It's not the same, is it?
no, it's much better to travel by boat. Much more interesting, and it's almost as quick. So let us continue. Now that there is the Cutty Sark, which is a famous ship. It's also a very nice whiskey, I should point out. Now this is a tea clipper. This is a ship specially designed to bring tea all the way from India on a very fast schedule between London and India. It's continuously at sea, going backwards and forwards between India and London, and this is why it's called a tea clipper. This was in the days before people had learned how to grow tea in little bags in cardboard boxes on supermarket shelves. For some reason they had to bring tea all the way from India, when today you just go and buy it from Co-op. But anyway, I've not been on board that ship. It is like a kind of like a tourist attraction, and you can actually go on board and walk around and see what it's like. It must have been quite an amazing experience being a sailor on one of these ships. Because no engine, you had the sails. You had to go up and furl. It had to be all unreal. They had to be furled and shipped by hand and stowed by hand. Must have been quite something. So that's the Cutty Sark. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're in Greenwich, and this is the Greenwich Royal Navy College, and that over there is the Big Dick. You can just see it there, and that's all covered by. It's not quite covered by cloud at the top, but there's that big pyramid there. The flashing light presumably is so aircraft don't crash into it. Now, it's amazing. The last time I was here, it was dark at this time, so now it's light.
Yeah.
So it's not often I've been to a Greenwich Sitpi in summer. So we're going to go along the Old Woolwich Road. This will be familiar to you. I want to look at where's the Greenwich Meridian exactly. Hey Colin,
College there.
that's the Naval College. Yeah. I'll go along here. We cross over the Greenwich Meridian at some point. I would love to know exactly where that is. Where's the actual? See, look here. I mean, on this map, there's the Greenwich Observatory. So I think it's actually just. I work out from this map. There's the Greenwich Observatory. You got a map on? Can you use your map on your phone? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Old Royal Observatory. So that cross there is the observatory. So you go due north from that. It's virtually on that line now.
Well, we're here. Starngarter's up here.
Yeah. Where's the? We shouldn't need to know where the Royal Observatory is.
The Royal Observatory.
Yeah, the Greenwich Observatory, and because that's where the line goes through.
Okay.
So it's basically, I think it's just more or less on the where Greenwich Park Street meets Old Woolwich Road. It's more or less there, I think. Is that the Greenwich Observatory there?
Yeah, it's about that way. It's across there. The Royal Observatory is on the right hand side.
Is it sort of? Yeah, so it's sort of like.
It's just over there. So it's basically with that. That's where the storm.
Or is it there? Because there's another building there called the Flamstead House Museum. That's not the observatory, though, is it? I mean, the observatory is sort
No,
of.
we're here, and that's the observatory. So then there's the pub over there.
Well, you could tell us when we cross north, exactly due north of that observatory is when we're crossing the Greenwich Meridian.
Where we all disappear.
Yeah, we'll go into another dimension, as Anthony Patch knows all about that. Yeah, the CERN portal will. So I think it's more or less. It's somewhere around here. So when are we going to be due north? Can you sort of like orientate your map to the compass point?
North of the Royal
Yeah,
Observatory?
just so we know.
Any second. Well, I think maybe then now actually.
It's about now. There's nothing marking it here. You see, it's like there's no line or anything on the street which indicates. Yeah, there's no sort of like special point marking it on here. There were lines on the ground, you see, at the observatory to say where the meridian is. Oh dear, some trouble here. Oh, I hope we're still in the same dimension. I think it's about here, somewhere around here. Yeah. I've sort of like said this on previous videos when I've been walking along this road. But this is the Meridian School, I believe. It's called the Meridian School. Maybe the Meridian runs through here, I don't know.
pretty grim evening though, isn't it? It's like, it's a bit miserable.
It's more like autumn, isn't it?
Yeah, it's May actually, but couldn't believe it.
Well, 20 minutes to kick off.
Yeah, well, that's right. We're a bit early, so we are heading now to just get the pre-match atmosphere, as Colin put it a little while ago. The Meridian Primary School. See, must be somewhere around here. To get some of the pre-match atmosphere of this particular venue at the Star and Garter pub. Oh my stars and garters, as the skeptics say. And just as you see, look at me. I am myself. I'm going as myself. Christopher Fresher Andrews knows me. Well, he doesn't know me, but he will remember me. Yeah, he will remember me from the event in Goldsmiths. So if he's okay with me being at the event in Goldsmiths, no one's got any right to object to me being at this particular event.
Big siren will go off.
Just say, conspiracy theorists here! Beep, beep, beep. We have a real conspiracy theorist in our midst. Alert, alert, alert. Cancel the event now. Okay, so what's that say there? What's that? That's a weird thing. It's an astrological thing, no? Look at that.
It's all Latin to me, Ben.
Yeah, it's something.
Where's Gemini?
It's something to do with Latin, and there's maybe this is the point of the meridian. I don't know. Maybe we're on it now. Maybe this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe we're on the Greenwich Meridian.
There's one over there as well.
Oh yeah, so there's this thing here.
Maybe it's skeptic.
Omnia Tempus Habent. Don't know what that means, but it's a sundial there. Laugh ask one of the skeppies, see what they say. But anyway, this is the Star and Garter pub, which you'll be familiar with. We're now going to go in and I'm going to scout the area and check out the talent and see how does a conspiracy theorist act in a skeptic meeting. We're going to find out. So here we go. Well, we're on the boat home now. I'm here with Colin. We're on the boat home and we're enjoying the sights of East London. I don't know how much you can see through the reflection in the window, but this is me. I'm on this boat. You've seen this before if you watched our previous. You watched my previous Panama TV reportages on Greenwich Skeptics in the Pub. Well, we saw Christopher Thresher Andrews, and he's a nice chap, a young fella, for whatever is he, doctor, professor. Well, he's studying for his PhD, so he's sort of like he's sort of like still in training, really, to be a major skeptic. He's a skeptic apprentice, learning the trade. But he apparently he's been called lots of names, as I said earlier on. He's been called all kinds of names, which has not come from me. I should point out. I don't call people having intelligence as a squashed potato just because they don't agree with me. I never accuse people of being government disinformationists unless I have evidence, you see, that's the point. But, now this is actually, he quoted some statistics here. 55% of people think the government is lying about the amount of immigration Britain has. What do you reckon about that, Colin?
Well, I mean, was this a Daily Mail poll? I don't know. I don't know. No, I don't know. Yeah. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a lot of paranoia where it's been, I don't know what.
I think so. They are. And what's more, 52% of people believe that the European Union was trying to take over Britain before the Brexit vote. I certainly agree with that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen my videos on that. Right, 34% believe there's a secret group that covertly runs, covertly influences politics. Well,
surely
I mean,
no.
Sure, can't possibly be.
Yeah, would keep you awake at night if that was the case.
No, sure. He carries on. 11% of people believe that 9/11 was an inside job.
Really?
Yeah.
We saw those planes hit those buildings, Ben.
I know. And Bin Laden confessed, that big fat git who put on all that weight. Yeah. And those buildings that turned to dust in turned to dust. 14% of people, God, these are real nutters, they believe that the government is hiding the truth about UFOs and aliens.
No, strike me.
Never struck you down.
Yeah, no, I can't believe it. I mean, that sounds. Who are these crazy people, and where can I avoid them?
So basically, what I'm saying is, I think I score on all of those points, all counts. So I'm basically a tinfoil hat wearing loony. On a scale of 1 to 10, there is no spoon. Basically, that's what
you
we're
are
saying.
qualified. Yeah, you are officially wide-eyed loon, I'm afraid.
We're coming to another station here. There's another of these piers, and these piers are actually free floating. They just like they're not attached to the riverbed. They just sort of like bob and float in the wake of boats. So here's another. So it's coming, yeah. So here's another one. Right. Now. And he said the thing about this guy is he's intellectually honest. I must admit. He did actually
he's a
say.
likable chap.
Yeah, he is, and he did actually say. He said that he's not at any point suggesting. I mean, Professor Karen Douglas said something similar. He's not at any point suggesting that conspiracy about whether or not conspiracies are real or not, or whether people who believe in them are correct or not, or their reasoning facilities. He said conspiracy theorists are not mentally ill. He actually said that.
Yeah.
He said that we're not mentally ill. We're not.
Critical thinkers, I think.
I'll come back to that. That's an important point because that ties into Douglas's work. But he says real conspiracies do happen. I mean, there's perfect examples in the news. I mean, Hillsborough disaster.
Yeah, of course.
For 20 years, the survivors were saying the police lied. They conspired. They covered up the fact that it was not an accidental death. It was their fault. And Jimmy Savile is another good example. Yeah, these are conspiracy theories that have been proved true. Yeah. Another good example, a very good recent example, is Vault 7.
Yeah, that's quieted down a bit though, that one, hasn't it? That was a big fuss, isn't it? Sort of,
It was a huge vindication on our part. I mean, it's basically everything, which what we've been saying for years. The government intelligence agencies have electronic surveillance which uses normal electronic appliances as tools of espionage. We've been saying this for so long. We've been laughed at, and this WikiLeaks thing from the CIA admits it. It's it's there in black and white. It's oh dear. But interestingly, he put up some examples. For instance, I think it was a few trick questions, wasn't it? Do you believe the KGB was involved in the assassination of John F. Kennedy? And I said no. But then he said, "Oh, but it was, but in not the way you think. KGB spread disinformation." See? I mean, Lee Harvey Oswald was a dedicated Marxist and things like that. Well, I mean, I don't believe Lee Harvey Oswald did a damn thing. I think he was the patsy, as he said.
Exactly.
He emphatically denied the charges. He is the patsy. They did also biological spraying. I mean, the government have actually carried out real life spraying. This is something I'm aware of, but the British and US government have sprayed British people with chemical agents, with biological agents, in an attempt just to without our consent. In the 1950s, this was in an attempt to they was basically biological warfare testing, but not
Putting down.
Yeah, but it wasn't actually testing agents. It was testing the way agents are spread. What they want to do is they want to say, if there's a biowarfare attack on Britain, how quickly will it spread? Where will it go? And in San Francisco, actually, in 1955, they carried out a very, very controversial test. Where they spread a common bacteria that's found in soil. They spread it all over the city. They dumped it in water and air. They sprayed it in the air all over the city. This was a common soil virus. It was said to produce mild cold-like symptoms. The problem was, though, about 4 people, mostly elderly and asthmatics and people like that, died as a result of this. They just want to say, what would happen if there's a biowarfare attack in San Francisco? Their test killed a number of people. It was this very thing. Another thing was Apple. Now, there's a conspiracy theory that Apple have actually made one of their products run extra slow, so you have to upgrade it and buy their new one. Have you heard that one?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about that, but actually when you said it, you thought, well, that's plausible, isn't it? Really?
Well, according to Professor Andrews, it's a conspiracy. It's not true, but it's a conspiracy theory spread by their opponents, like what is it, BlackBerry or something? Samsung, yeah. And he said that apparently we all suffer from biased reasoning, apophenia, pareidolia. Now, and he uses the phrase post-truth. Well, my own definition of post-truth is very different. But he showed us this little video of just a row of shapes. There was 2 triangles and a little circle and a big box with a door on it. And these. What do you think of that? These shapes just moved around and pushed each other around.
Yeah, especially from the 40s or so.
It's very old, 1944. Yeah.
Yeah. He did show that actually at the other event.
Yeah. But I felt that the big triangle was the bully.
Yeah.
I did. I felt the big triangle was the bully.
Fell apart.
But he said that this is basically the fact that we can project agency even onto just geometric shapes by their behaviour. And he gave examples of apophenia or pareidolia. And I've talked about this. It's about where you see random shapes where you see random shapes and you see patterns in them. You see faces, or you see faces are very, very common in things like this. And other things which just aren't there because they're in random noise. And as I always said, this ties into the old coincidence sort of. I've talked about this before, but where do you draw the line? Okay, if you say some things are random and some things are not, where do you draw the line? Where's the statistical ceiling above which you will accept that something is not random? I mean, this came up in the question I asked him in the Q&A as well, didn't it? Oh, thanks, yeah. He said that people have a loss of control. They have a loss of control. People who have a loss of control are more likely to believe in conspiracy theories, who feel a loss of control in their life. He's done several experiments related to that. And the very interesting thing was he did this thing, people who jump to conclusions based on limited evidence are more likely to believe in conspiracy theories. And he did this thing with the beads in the jar.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a strange.
Yeah.
I mean, did you put your hand up after 2 beads? Or
I think I gave it a few more beats or whatever.
pussy. I'm the craziest kook.
Yeah.
No one could tell me. I put my hand up after 2 beads. What it is, you have a bead, you have like 2 jars. One has 90 yellow beads and 10 black beads. The other has 90 black beads and 10 yellow beads. And you shake it around to like mix them up and shuffle them, so to speak. And you start pulling beads out one at a time. And you've got to, judging by the colour of the beads that come out, you've got to try and get people to say, well, which jar do you think it come from, the yellow or the black? And so if you get 1 bead, it's 50-50, the statistics are 50-50. You get 2 beads, the statistics go down. I put my hand up after 2 beads. You get 3 yellow beads, again, it's much more likely it's the yellow jar. The thing about it is though, he was saying that some people, even after 8 beads, they will still want more beads. They still are not willing to
Sitting on the fence.
They're still sitting on the fence. I mean, isn't it obvious? But by eight beads, it's very, very likely. It's extremely unlikely it's the black jar. 8 yellow beads, it's very unlikely to be the black jar. The thing about it is though, it's physically possible it's still the black jar. You can't rule it out, as that great papal hero would say from the Ministry of Defence. You can't rule it out. But and physically it's possible. But you literally to know for certain 100%, you'd have to go to 11 beads. Once you had 11 beads, you'd know for certain. But some people were willing to wait. Now that came as part of my question to him as well. And he says, what's that saying? He says that all of us have a little bit of conspiracy theorist inside us. And I know I made a vulgar joke, didn't I? I said that's what Sue used to say to me, you know. But yeah, basically he said that we all exhibit the various things to do with conspiracy theories. And in the Q&A, I made a good point because I put my hand up and I said, all right, I'm interested in your project, I'm interested in all these psychological projects, I'm willing to look at myself with a critical eye, but has anyone done a research project of a similar nature in what makes someone become a skeptic? What makes skeptics tick? And he said, I was quite surprised, he said, well, yeah, Professor Chris French is actually looking at that. And here we're coming across the Tower Bridge, isn't it lovely? Yeah, coming upon the Tower Bridge. This is the American tourists, or Japanese tourists, sort of like attraction shot now. There we are, that's lovely. Yeah, it's all lit up for the night. See, and the thing about it is, I mean, again, you get some people like who say the people who are waiting for more and more beads and they were not willing to commit, even though it was the odds were overwhelming that they could commit. That to me is a cognitive deficit. I think it is, because you can never be 100% certain. I think If you wait for 100% certainty on everything, well, you could wait for 100% certainty in the beads experiment. Like you wait for 11 beads, they're all yellow, then you've got the yellow jar, you know it. But the problem is, things in life generally are far less, are much more nebulous. They're not just such simple systems. But if you go through your life refusing, not generating an action until you have absolute certainty, you wouldn't do anything. You just sit there continuously checking and checking your assumptions. Sure, that'd be the ultra-rationalist way to behave, the Spock-like way to behave, but it wouldn't actually look like good sense. It would look like a cognitive deficit. Somebody else asked a good question, didn't they? What did they say? Do you remember?
Oh, about is there anything good about being a conspiracy theorist?
What's good about being a conspiracy theorist?
Is there any positives to be taken? And I think we just left at that point, actually, ironically. But it is a good point.
We could have answered that question.
It's being critical thinker, isn't it? And questioning everything and not accepting what you're being told by. I mean, why should we believe anything that anyone tells us? I mean, who's to say that, whether they have our best interests at heart or actually we're being sold a pack of lies about everything and anything,
Absolutely.
There's no harm in, standing up and being in the minority. I mean, until you have evidence that definitely proves something.
Yeah, I mean, it's
to your satisfaction. It might be prove something to someone else's satisfaction, but we should always question everything, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do think that's
very healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think that the advantage of being a conspiracy theorist is that you can. I won't miss that shot there. Is that you can live a life in which you are open-minded enough to actually deal with issues that are not conventionally acceptable, that are not kind of like within cultural and psychological norms, but the evidence points that they're real. So you think the fact that UFOs are real, I mean, the evidence is overwhelming that they are real. There's no doubt about it. I would bet my life on them being real. I'm that certain. The evidence is just so overwhelming. Yet at the same time, we're going under Tower Bridge now, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't it lovely? So at the same time, the idea that UFOs are real is not conventionally acceptable. It's not. It is conventionally unacceptable. There's a Dubai shot there, you see. The Shard and those buildings. It's conventionally unacceptable, which means, I would. So if you go along with the conventional norm, you would not accept UFOs are real under any circumstances because they fall outside what is conventionally believed to be acceptable. Yet, being a conspiracy theorist means you can ignore that. You can ignore what is psychologically and conformistly, culturally normal, and deal with evidence alone. You can be basically almost a perfect scientist. You can say, I don't care what's normal.
At the front of the boat.
I say, well, what's the evidence say? And if the evidence says the moon's made of green cheese, you can say the moon's made of green cheese. If things like that. And that's a very that is what I think the advantages of being a conspiracy theorist. You can go by evidence and rather than convention. You get laughed at, you get called names, don't you just? Oh, blimey, yeah. But we come to another stop now. I think. Was there anything missing from this? Would you say, Colin?
If it has, I've forgotten it. But no, we had a good evening. It was a short talk, wasn't like.
We talked for half an hour, and then there was a Q&A.
Mr. French was sadly in warmer climes. So.
Oh, what was Frenchie doing? Oh,
I think he had a little gig in Spain, which is.
Oh wow, sunning it up on the shore.
Can't really blame him. Actually, it was very cold here today. So for May, this was a.
Frenchie had his speedos on the beach, lying on a sun lounger.
Yeah, don't want to.
Yeah. Reaching past Nick Pope for the half coconut full of Bacardi. Yeah.
Creates an image that I can't get out of my mind.
Yeah.
I think.
then off to the massage parlour for a big rub down by a ebony porn star or something. Yeah, that's it. That's what French was doing. French wasn't there. He somehow preferred that kind of life to actually come into Greenwich, wet, rainy Greenwich, and hosting Greenwich Skip like he normally does.
Did he know we were coming, Ben?
I think he might have done, because I did say on Facebook
Maybe
I was coming.
That's why he went away to Spain.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Fletcher Andrews actually recognised me because, as I said before, we were both speakers at French's conference, which was the ASAP Seriously Suspicious conference at Goldsmiths University of London, and so we were both speakers there. So he remembered me from that. So. He was very nice. We had a bit of a chat, you know. It was really very nice. It was a fun event. I did enjoy it. But again, you know, it's I really think what about the information that Dr. Karen Douglas provides, because she has concluded, as I've said before, rather remarkably, that the conspiracy theorists are actually the sensible ones. In a sense, we're the rational ones. We're the calm, logical, rational ones. It's the non-conspiracy theorists who are actually the ones who descend into rhetoric, personal debate, you know, personal. And I found this personal abuse, personal attacks, and things like that. You know, you bring up Sandy Hook, and they say, "How could you be so evil to say that?" Rather than "You're wrong because ellipsis." London Bridge City. Somewhere, and of course.
Contactless and Oyster users are reminded to touch out to avoid paying an incorrect fare.
One thing that was completely and utterly absent from this discussion. One thing was completely absent from this entire discussion was this HMS Belfast. We spoke to Miles. Miles has actually came with interesting news, didn't he? While we were, he phoned us up.
What date he said.
Did you say July 22nd? There's going to be a...
that was when you were on it, isn't it?
No, July the 8th is Roswell 70, yeah.
Okay, well,
it's after that, yeah. I think it's July the 26th. Is it Devices? Yeah.
Is it Marlborough?
Is it Marlborough?
No, not Marlborough.
No, but anyway,
Black Swan,
it's at the Black Swan pub where we had the Christmas event. Yeah, it's going to be there. So there's a bases event there.
Check press for details.
Yeah. Well, it's just, this is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. It's just what Miles... No, Miles has already posted a notice on Facebook, so check that out. So, funny seeing HMS Belfast made me think of Miles.
Yeah, well, of course.
But
the bar is open and offers a wide selection of... Passengers will exit at the front of the boat.
There's a bar, so I don't fancy a drink. I don't fancy that. We're getting off the boat in a minute anyway.
Yeah.
But what is interesting, of course, what you might say is absent is any discussion over whether conspiracy theories are real or not, or are they true or not. And the fact of the matter is, this was not relevant to the entire discussion. I mean, Professor Andrews actually said as much. He said it's not a... He didn't actually say the words. I know other people have. I mean, Professor Karen Douglas has said this when she spoke in 2011, before she came out with her amazing heretical revelation. But she said, it's not about whether conspiracy theories are true or not, it's why people believe in them. And I'd say the same about skeptics. When I asked about skeptics, I would say, well, it's not about whether skeptics are true or not. It's about why they believe in skepticism. And so I can turn the tables on them. I can turn that entire logic back on them, which I did. Which is very interesting. Which is very interesting. Thought it was kind of like. It's very interesting. Yeah, it's about the logic was used. So Professor Andrews doesn't look into individual conspiracy theories. He doesn't believe in them, I don't think, but it's why do people believe in them. But I think the implication is somehow, and the implication is that they're not real. Why do people believe in them? I think that's otherwise. So this is why I asked my question in the Q&A. My question, they're not real. Why do people believe them if they're not real? I think that was the implication of his work. Or the reason I asked my question in the Q&A was, well, if skeptical viewpoints are not real, why do people believe in them? So if the official story of 9/11 is not real, why do people believe it? If we're not alone in the universe, there are no aliens, why do people believe that we do? Why do people believe that we are? Why do people believe that 19 hijackers somehow overcame the best defended airspace in the world and hit 2 towers that then turned into dust in midair? Why do people believe that in a universe of infinite size, somehow we're the only life that's ever existed anywhere? Why do people believe that governments who lie and cheat and steal and are greedy, selfish, cowardly, and stupid always tell us the truth? Why do they always tell us the truth about some things? Why do we trust them so much when they say so and so is so and so? You know what I mean?
Passengers will exit at the front of the
So
boat.
a bit of reverse psychology there. I think I could play the same game you're playing. You see, I can.
You'd win.
But anyway, I'm calling up. This has been a very, very interesting evening. I've enjoyed it. There may be. I'm not going to add any more to this video. I think it's big enough now, and I think I've said enough now, and I think I've covered enough. But basically, I'm glad I went. Thanks for coming with me. It's nice to have your company.
I'm glad I came as well.
It's nice to have your
A
company.
long day, but really enjoyed it, and watch out for more reportages on
Yes.
special events, maybe.
Oh, there will be, and many other things. Yeah, I'll be back to Greenwich City at some point, I'm sure. And then the next one is something about internet dating, which doesn't interest me.
Yeah, well, there were some 14 ones, and I'm trying to find that piece of paper that we got, but I've lost that bit of paper.
Oh, we'll look at it online, but the 14th Society there. But basically, it's been I'm glad I came. It's been an interesting evening, and I'm going to go home now and sleep. And well, I won't be uploading this for a couple of days because my internet's going to be off for this. You'll probably be watching this. It's probably be uploaded somewhere around Friday afternoon or Saturday morning or something like that, because we've run out of. My internet's been off for a while because I'm basically moving to another room in my house. But thanks, Colin. Thank you very much for taking part in this Panlow TV video. Much appreciated.
Yeah, no, thank you, and thanks for watching, and see you next time in another glamorous location.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching Panlow TV viewers. Hospital Porters, pride and dignity. Stop the New World Order.